Hey guys, it's Zanzap here. I'm going to be showing you my Trypanon Inquistor build. Here's Trypanon right here. You basically always get critical strikes when you're using the weapon. We're using that with the Inquisitor's elemental penetration, so you're always penetrating. And then we're using a Marlene's Fallacy amulet. Since we're always critting, we're not suffering the downside of less damage on our attacks, less crit chance, but we are getting the benefits of the amulet, which is Culling Strike, Light Radius, Evasion, Accuracy, and 232 crit multiplier, which is just crazy. That's pretty much almost all of the crit multi I get on the build, and it's what really amps up the damage on the build. I'm using Cyclone just because the base attack speed on Trypanon is so low that using anything but Cyclone means you just have a crazy slow attack speed. If I can find my Earthquake gem here somewhere. Earthcrash will work here. Just look how slow that is. Most of the time I was getting stunned before I could even get off an attack. So I just ended up using Cyclone. You get the stun immunity. And you're pretty much can bypass the attack speed. You're getting more attack speed. Now on to links and stuff I'm using. Cyclone, of course. Added lightning. Flat is so important for this build since you don't get it on your weapon. Crit multi. You don't need crit chance or anything like that. It's just a straight 109 damage increase. Fortify. You could probably... This is the only gem here I could think of running. You could probably run Added Cold if you really wanted more damage, but just getting Fortify always when you're cycloning, just because your attacks are so slow that using Leap Slam to get Fortify is just not feasible. And then Wed, you'd use Added Cold. Potentially Elemental Focus if you didn't want to use Curse on Hit, Herald of Thunder. And while I'm on that topic, go over what I'm using for the curse. I'm using Poacher's Mark, so the enemies have less evasion. It's just a huge benefit to us just because it makes the accuracy requirements much less on the build. And even if you're not getting... We're getting a lot of accuracy already, but just making sure that you're always getting crits and not getting those crits downgraded into normal hits. And it gives us life on hit, mana, and it also gives us our Frenzy Charge generation. I'm using Flat Rings, White Belt, high res boots, gloves, helmet, just so I can run some of the auras. Lightning Coil gives us attack damage and defense. White Belt, important. Res. I'm going to go over the passive tree real quick here. So, of course, you start out as a Templar because you're an Inquisitor. Get these nice, juicy Manifold Judgment, Righteous Providence, Crit Multi, Elemental Damage. More and more juiciness. There's some debate here. You could probably take Instruments of Virtue and use Cast on Crit to get the secondary effect. I don't really think you need the attack damage that reliably. I'm pretty sure this ends up being better. You're taking less damage from Lightning Coil, less overall, and you're dealing more damage because it's against enemies. So when I leveled up, I pretty much just went here, grabbed all of this juicy stuff here. Life, this, and then I stopped pretty much here. And then I started my skill grimmage all the way over to this area. We ended up using a static electricity jewel here. 102 lightning damage to attacks. That's why we get these 3 points here. Attack speed, accuracy is just a benefit there going that way. Life, attack speed, accuracy, dex, more movement speed. Unarmed range helps with Cyclone. Accuracy, attack speed, dex, more accuracy. All the dex gives us accuracy. Then we come down here, we get the Ellie Leech nodes, which just makes it so we don't have to run Life Leech. or Mana Leech or run Blood Magic, you could just support it off of the mana we have here. Get over here, get this extra Frenzy Charge, get this life, get this Jewel. I'm not high enough level yet. You'd get Berserking. That's pretty much it. Fill out the life here. Potentially come over here, get Weather Hunter, but I haven't decided if I need the accuracy yet. Get the Profane Chemistry. That's pretty much it for the skill tree here. Just go run a map real quick. Let's see, what map do I have here? Graveyard. Let's just outgate and go. Hopefully it doesn't fuck us here. We can run that. Sitting at 23 KTBS without my friendly charges, I get up to about 36. Here, just a second. The power of the build. Oh yeah, let me go over. We're sitting at 615 crit multi. It's just crazy. Plus the 45 when they're affected by status ailments. You can just see we pretty much just crunch everything. It's probably one of the best things about the build is just crunching everything. I guess I accidentally toggled off my loot filter. We just run over everything. Pretty much the coolest thing about the build is that any of the you're always doing 35k DPS. You're never going to be doing less just because you're always penetrating.
My mana is spent.
And just running stuff over. Pretty much one-shot whites most of the time. If not, you're pulling them. Only downside of using Marlene's here is that your Heralds don't do as much damage. They're doing about 40% of the damage they normally would do. So there's something you could drop if you wanted to run Elemental Focus. You just probably run Wrath instead of them. And then, I don't know what you would use for Curse. How you'd Curse, maybe Black. Well, you just probably wouldn't Curse. And then you'd probably have to run Blood Rage to get your Frenzy charges. I mean, there's no aura here that really, or curse that really helps us here. You don't really need Ellie weakness at all. You don't really need Assassin's Mark to get power charges since we're always critting. We don't need that. But I mean, you can see there, we're just able to kill these high resistant monsters pretty quickly. If you can get a shock stack on them, then you just completely one-shot them most of the time if you get a good roll on your lightning damage. Most of the times the stuff that lives here is just because your lightning rolls low, since it's most of our damage. I am working on getting a quality Cyclone just so the area is a bit better. And so you have to circle back through.
To damnation with you!
I'm just going to clear the map real quick here. Why not, so you guys can see it. Such a cool build that just kind of struck my mind. I saw I got inklings of the idea from Reddit and just looking at the wiki for uniques, and I stumbled upon Marlene's and was like, oh my goodness.
I am no beast of burden.
I was messing around with Earthquake for a bit, and you pretty much one-shot everything when you touch it, but just because the attack speed's so slow on it that it just makes it tough to use. And you pretty much get stunned when you're casting it just because the wind-up is so long. But you can pretty much swap them out here and there between Cyclone and that if you have like a Tabula or something like that. Ice Crash maybe converts your physical damage on it to cold. Should be useful. I just wish that Fortify gave melee damage to the melee physical. It would give us another 40% damage. I think would be pretty substantial, but for some reason it's melee only, melee physical only, that is. Well, I think that pretty much does it for the map. This is Zanzab, and I showed off my LE Cyclone Trypanon Inquistor. See you guys later.